Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, it's me here. Oh my god, another year is over. I've been thinking about this list all year, literally. Sorry it's a little late, but you know what? The Academy Awards only just announced their nominees, so I'm ahead of the Academy, so give me a little slack. I have a very special guest to introduce to you today. He's been trying to get on our videos for a while because he's like the man behind the camera. He actually has recorded videos for our stuff, and they didn't end up working in the thing. So he's been here, but you guys haven't realized he's been here, but now he is Producer Dave, everyone also known as David.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be here, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Another year down, right? Yeah, I'm over with the fist bumpage. Yeah, well,
Okay, well, the truth is, I'm excited to be here. It took long enough.
Took basically 2 years.
But for the top 10, it's an honor.
So, the top 10 list is on its way. Obviously, yes, it is subjective. A lot of great movies this year. A lot of bad movies. But, you know...
shitty movies.
Yes. We're looking at you, Tusk. Number 10. Okay, so at number 10, we have a foreign film, an Australian film, called The Rover. Now, The Rover, I don't think I reviewed it. I reviewed it on my Letterboxd account, but The Rover...
It was a fun one.
The Rover was a fun movie. It was an emotional ride. It showed like this post-apocalyptic world in the most believable sense. Like watching this post-apocalypse, I sat there and said, if there is a post-apocalypse to ever happen, it's this movie. And I was immediately along for the ride, and I actually liked Robert Pattinson in the movie. I never thought I'd say that. I liked Robert Pattinson in a movie.
What did you like about Robert Pattinson? As producer, I need to know what to replicate.
He played this character that was just not him. He actually had to act. He didn't play his wooden Edward from Twilight self. He actually had to act. He shoots somebody. They weren't like important to the plot, but he shoots somebody. And when he shot somebody, he actually had remorse about it. He didn't sit there and talk about, I have remorse about this thing. He actually, you just saw it in his face. You saw the way he reacted to the shot. And I sat there and said, that is a level of acting caliber that I never thought I'd be able to say I respect Robert Pattinson for. And then Guy Pearce plays the main character. The story is so simple. Dude takes his SUV. He wants his car back, so he's gonna go kill whoever took his car. And, because he likes his car.
So it's like, dude, where's my car, but on steroids.
It's Dude, Where's My Car and Mad Max in the most realistic post-apocalypse.
So it's Mad Max saying, dude, where's my car? I'll die without it.
Exactly.
Number 9!
Number 9.
Number 9.
Starring the Neeson himself, his almighty Neesonness.
Oh my god,
his great glory, the Neeson. Neeson.
In the name of
Neeson, NonStop. Kills the enemies. Liam Neeson in NonStop. Yes, you knew that NonStop had to be on here because of his Neesonness.
Well, what I think is so amazing about, he showed that he can walk on air when he's flying through the air.
And he grabs the gun and he goes...
I mean, literally only the Son of God can do that, therefore Liam Neeson is...
proof Liam Neeson is the Messiah. Neeson...
of the Messiah.
Yes. Neeson is on a plane, and in order to stop the terrorists, he's got to solve the case. This movie was as if Alfred Hitchcock directed Die Hard on a plane. I would say that's the best assessment for it. Because it's got that Alfred Hitchcock thriller intrigue with that claustrophobic feel of Die Hard and someone killing people in a confined space on an airplane.
So it's like Snakes on a Plane, except Liam Neeson is the snake, killing.
And no plane. Well, Liam Neeson being Jesus on a plane.
Yeah.
So...
Liam Neeson could have chosen to have flown out of the plane because he is God, but he chose to stay and fight the evil.
Save it all for you, America. And the world. The world, of course.
World.
He's Irish. So, the world. That movie left me... When I walked out of the movie theater, I enjoyed it so much I wanted to talk about it with people. And that is always a great quality in a film. I just always felt like I'm pretty sure I texted you outside of the movie. I was like, I just got out of NonStop.
If you saw God, wouldn't you want to talk about it?
Exactly.
That's
hashtag Neeson is God. Number 8 is that movie that everyone's been talking about, Birdman. Birdman starring Michael Keaton, Batman himself.
So, movie to me was a little bit experimental.
The movie is designed to look like one take if you have not seen it. It's designed to look like one take, so you have this whole perspective on things. It felt so relatable to people, I'd say especially in like our field, because we do short films in our spare time kind of thing.
Yeah,
and there's money behind it, and we're trying to make these things, and everything that goes on in this is so relatable, and it felt real. That is the important thing. It felt real. It was fantastic. I absolutely thought this film, it blew me away when I watched it, but I did feel it was a little bit too long, but...
Well, I thought it should have been at least 45 minutes shorter.
But that being said, it's still one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it is a cinematic achievement because of what it does, and that is what counts.
It was original, and that was refreshing. Because, we've had over a century... Oh, wait. No, we've had almost a century of film.
I think we've had, yeah.
And the truth is, we're starting, to see an original idea for how to set up a movie, it's getting fewer and far between now.
Which is why I think people should learn to appreciate film even more because of this movie. That, this is really what it does. And this is by far the best performance that Michael Keaton has ever done in his life.
Absolutely.
He will probably win the Academy Award. So, that being said, let's see what's else on the list.
Number 7.
John Wick. John Wick is the over-the-top action movie starring Keanu Reeves.
Honestly, this is the only Keanu Reeves role that I could walk away respecting. And the truth was, he was absolutely just like every other horrible dialogue.
But Keanu Reeves can say horrible. He could literally be like, I bought you KFC. And you're okay with Keanu Reeves saying that, which is an amazing talent in himself, I suppose. But this movie...
This movie was his best work ever. It was amazing.
I have to agree. I actually like this more than The Matrix.
If you like The Matrix, but you wish the movies were better paced, John Wick. Watch it. You'll love it.
John Wick establishes this wonderful world that could be a perfect video game setup. And on top of that, the action scenes are so slick. They don't do too much of the shaky cam. They show John Wick. He's shooting people. You see headshots galore. It's so great.
Every shot. It's like
almost
85% of
John
every
Wick
shot
is a PC gamer. I want to see more sequels from this world. I want to see this world build. I want to see John Wick kill more people with that awesome assault rifle he had.
Okay.
But
I want to see him use that car to run over his enemies.
Oh yeah.
That car was sexy as hell.
They established such a wonderful relatability with John Wick with them killing his dog.
Oh.
That made you hate
I've never loved a dog. Okay, I thought I would never love a dog more than Old Yeller. This movie
took the cake for me.
Number 6.
Number 6, the Korean film Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is this wonderful post-apocalypse on a train, and they're living on the train, and there's just this great emotional depth and value to this. When I first saw it, just blew my mind. The level of beauty that it has with such disgusting environments. And just all the little details like that, where you're on this train, you're fighting train car by train car. You feel like every single piece is an achievement. On top of that, every action scene is beautiful, and it's like it's a piece of motion painting. It's like you're looking at this beautiful art piece about what happened in the past.
Every struggle of the hell that was on those trains. Okay, to describe this train, imagine the Polar Express with class warfare, civil war, no Tom Hanks, and it's violent as fuck. Okay. This is the Polar Express for adults, is really how to describe this movie.
And Chris Evans, as wonderful as he is as Captain America, I can now only see him as this role because of the monologue he gives in the finale about him just the bad things he's done in his life, and it's heartbreaking. And I sat there and I watched it and said, at that moment, I don't care what movie I have to kick off this top 10 list, this has to be on there because of this scene. Chris Evans is spectacular, and this is the best performance he's done in his life. Alright guys, we are in the home stretch now. You can see home already on the way. Now, our famous cell phone guy, also known as Chris, couldn't make it today because our producer could not afford to fly him from wherever he was. But I mean, he might show up as like some webcam.
Cell phone guy was doing charity work in Haiti.
He was doing charity work in Haiti, gotcha. But we'll put a little picture up so you understand he's still with us. Number 5 is
Okay, Godzilla.
Godzilla. I seriously, when I first saw this movie and Godzilla roared and my teeth shattered, I said number 1 or number 2, because those who know me know the Pacific Rim was like my second favorite movie of last year. So Godzilla, clearly, boom, kush, kabang. And so I loved Godzilla, man. This movie just was everything I wanted from a monster movie.
Originally, I was a little hesitant because, oh god, Godzilla, they made like 20 movies. But nope, they took it and made it their own. And it was not run-of-the-mill. Because Godzilla, because there's so many of them historically, it would have been very easy to do run-of-the-mill. But this new young director, this new blood,
Gareth Edwards.
Edwards did an incredible job. He has one hell of a career ahead of him. If
He really does. When I saw Monsters, I said, this guy can do monster movies, and I bet you they're going to pick him for Godzilla. Then they did. And I was amazed at how well he did it. I wasn't sure if it could be done well because of that 1998 garbage pile that was the American Godzilla movie originally.
That ended up becoming Zilla.
Yeah,
in the universe.
They didn't even want to call him Godzilla at that point.
That was...
I was so afraid of that again.
Oh, and it was a girl, too.
Yeah, whatever. That
was awful.
But this movie made Godzilla relevant again. He's cool.
Tough.
The way it was filmed made Godzilla look his actual size. Like, you know, when you're watching the buildings get hit by Godzilla and Godzilla walking, you felt the weight of Godzilla.
You felt small in that movie.
You did, and you felt like you were watching it because it looked so real. And this movie just absolutely blew me away in that sense.
Number 4.
Yes, The Raid 2 is number 4, and The Raid 2 was a movie that I was so happy it was great.
You know, I actually was afraid that I would fall in the classic sequel syndrome where it wouldn't be as good as no, it was better than the first.
It really was better than the first one because they took this simple premise and then expanded on it and made it better in that sense. And I absolutely love that. This movie I was anticipating. I tell you, I drove like a solid 50 miles to go see this movie. And I was like, no, we are seeing The Raid 2. And The Raid 2 was so good. It was so well filmed. They basically turned it into this crime, espionage, mobster kind of story, which was awesome.
Really awesome.
I loved it. I loved every single second of The Raid 2. The action scenes were so well filmed, especially that last 25 minutes. You're just like... And I cannot wait because he is making The Raid 3. I cannot emphasize this enough. The finale, the action scenes, action directors, please take note on The Raid because The Raid 2...
It's a formula that works.
It really does.
The Raid formula works and that's what we want more of.
I want more Raid. Like, Raid up everything. Raid John Wick crossover. Make it happen.
Number 3.
Me, the significant other, and the mom, we all drove like 40 miles north or however far it was through the sleet and the snow, you know, uphill both ways. But we drove to it and it delivered. The Imitation Game. Guys, The Imitation Game is a display of Benedict Cumberbatch's talent. This movie is about cracking the Enigma code in World War II. It is an important film to see. Just the passion behind like what people care about, seeing the humanity behind like these great discoveries and what they have to go through, and also the suffering of being a gay man, especially in this time when it was outlawed to be gay.
It was.
And it was a hard time, and I think it was really interesting to watch this film. It is something that definitely should be seen. I feel like schools are going to play this in history classes in like 10 years. Or even sooner, maybe.
For like early post-war Europe.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, World War II in Europe. Here, watch this movie so I can fall asleep. It didn't just feel like you were watching a class lecture. You felt like you were watching the real events unfold, and that is really what counts.
Number 2.
So number 2 is a movie that I was so shocked when I came out of the film, and I did not know what I was going to think going into it. It was one of those ones I knew nothing about the movie, came out of it and was like, mind blown. Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is a movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal, if you haven't seen it. It's basically a movie about these Nightcrawler crews who go around, they find the footage, they film it, they upload it to the internet, or to whoever the highest bidder is for money for these news articles, and blending the line of what is illegal, what isn't in terms of filming. And, oh my god, because there pretty much are really these people, it was just crazy to see. And Jake Gyllenhaal embodied a character. I was actually really mad he didn't get nominated for Best Leading Actor, because this movie, he was not Jake Gyllenhaal as this guy. He was this guy. He embodied the character. He was phenomenal in it. And the movie was so well shot. When you're sitting there and you're watching it, you're going, I really don't know if this should be considered illegal or not. Like, you're watching it and you don't even know anymore. You start to question your own judgment. And you start to say, well, what's wrong, what's right, all of these different things. And it's so compelling. And the last 10 minutes of this movie are just some of the most crazy, intense, like, stuff you will watch. It's not even an action movie. It's like a thriller, but that last bit is so well made, and it's so intense, because you're ultimately following a pursuit, like a police pursuit of gunmen. And you're actually unfolding as it happens, and you're like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be here for the actual event, I should be filming the end of it. Is this really a bad thing that I'm doing this right now? And it's so good, because what happens when our main hero maybe starts to set up crimes of his own? It's so intriguing, it's so thrilling, it's absolutely fantastic. I was debating on putting it at my number 1, but my fanboyism's got the best of me for number 1. Alright guys, number 1. This is it. The big shebang. The great Bambino. The wonder child of 2014. For me. And maybe for him too.
And me.
And me. So for the number 1 for both of us. 3, 2, 1.
The Hobbit. Battle of the Five Armies.
Battle of the Five Armies. Alright guys. I am a ridiculously huge Lord of the Rings fan. I talked about something in my review about reenacting scenes from Lord of the Rings in garbs in my backyard with my friends.
That was me.
That was we
back in the day.
Yeah.
Middle school, back when we were so cool.
We were so cool, running around, being like, just with the.
I'm gonna walk.
Yeah, and orcs. We hold them here. Follow the keep. Oh, and it was so fantastic. I absolutely, watching Middle-earth, presumably for the last time, because they keep saying it's the last time.
Honestly, I think he's going to bring out the Silmarillion.
I would geek out for days if
the
it was
truth is...
But we're here to talk about the Hobbit.
Okay, yeah, let's not speculate.
Talk about the Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, for me, it's not just the Battle of the Five Armies, because some of you probably are already typing on your keyboards being like, you suck, man, and stuff, because it's the Battle of the Five Armies. I almost have to see the Battle of the Five Armies now as a whole piece for the Hobbit.
It's not... Okay, the 3 movies of the Hobbit series is actually...
It's really one movie.
It's really one movie.
And So it's
acts,
like how
one movie.
people sometimes say their favorite movie of all time is Lord of the Rings. It's because they become one movie. And so I'm almost seeing this as one movie. Because
Like 3
now-
acts of the same play.
yeah, and so now I can see this movie as its whole self. And even that, with just the Battle of the Five Armies, watching this movie, I was in Middle Earth again. And I was feeling the emotion, especially towards the end, of this is the last time I may be in Middle Earth until some Joe Schmo remakes it and doesn't do as well. That's when we get to go, in my day, they made good Lord of the Rings movies. And it's like, I'm such a huge Lord of the Rings geek, I couldn't help but put this on my list at the number 1 spot, because seriously, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies is so, it's Lord of the Rings.
I knew from last year that when the Five Armies came out, that it was going to be the best movie of the year.
I couldn't, my moment that I realized it, not the movie itself, where I was like, this is probably going to be my movie of the year, was that preview where you heard the epic song from Return of the King, where Pippin is singing with the mist behind. Oh yeah, that to me, I was like, boom, done.
While the slob Stewart was eating the tomatoes.
Yes. Also, in the Battle of the Five Armies, what solidified it was what I called that Avengers type moment, where Saruman, Gandalf, Galadriel, and Elrond and Radagast are all in that tower fighting Sauron, and they're fighting the future ring wraiths.
Yeah.
And stuff. And
They're
they're
ring
fighting
wraiths
them.
without the ropes.
And Galadriel basically pulls a Dragon Age Inquisition on Sauron, and is basically just like, get back, foul demon! And stuff, and it's so cool. I was like, and it was, that just right there, I was like, movie of the year. That scene, I could watch that scene.
For hours and hours.
I really could. And so, in the end, guys, Hobbit, favorite movie of the year.
Me too.
Okay, guys, if you disagreed with us on this list, why don't you post your top 10 list down there? Try and one-up us, yo, even though it's all subjective. Seriously, though, post your top 10.
I want to hear. I'll read your list.
We read all the comments.
I love reading.
You know how hard it is to read all of the comments of a Doctor Who video that's done that has like
It
400
takes
comments?
dedication.
It does, but we're dedicated. Boom. Guys, cannot wait to be here for next year for the next top 10. Also, what do you think's going to be on that? And don't try and pick the usual ones like Star Wars and all of that. Pick something unique that you think could do it. So, I want to see your creativity on that. Now, until next time, I mean, you'll be seeing more of Producer Dave, of course, as long as our videos don't encode wrong. But either way, next year's top 10 list is on its way. Well, next year. Wow.
Living it right now.
Living it, though. Living it. We're in the moment. So, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video.